Today we are going to explain the final mission type, at least at the moment, the Hijack mission. Now this comes in two different flavors. There's a corpus flavor and there's a grineer flavor. I'm going to go over the corpus flavor because, quite frankly, it's the easier one, and if it's easy, it works for me because I'm lazy. Now I brought in a couple of friends here with me for this Hijack mission because it works easier with a group. Could you do it solo? Yes, but it's just easier with a group. Another thing I should note is I'm actually recording the audio for this after the fact, so if it doesn't seem like it really connects as much as the other ones do, it's because it's added in after the fact. Now, what's the point in one of these types of missions? You're going out and you gotta hijack a thing. What that really amounts to is, in the beginning, you just go through bad guys as you're going through the objective, just like as if it was a deception or sabotage or any other normal mission type like that. You can kill the bad guys, you can ignore the bad guys. It's kind of up to you. It really doesn't have pretty much any impact until you get to the point where you're now hijacking the goal. This can take a while to get to, or it can take, no time to get to. Either way, you'll know you're actually there when you have to interface with a terminal. In the meantime, you'll see that I'm doing a lot of energy vampire. Now, at the moment, it's not really so much important, but later on, you'll see why I keep doing this. And that's primarily just based off of how the functionality of this thing works. And I'll be getting more into that in just a moment. However, first, somebody's about to get invaded in here. And as if that wasn't fun enough, my other friend's internet connection's about to kick out. So we're going to lose a person. So you'll see a little bit of confusion there. And you'll see right here's the terminal. I'm getting this for some energy. I'm asking if everybody's ready because they can go and sit on the car, and then we notice the blinks. Well, there's no point in starting the blinks when we're about to get invaded by something, because you don't want the car to take more damage than you have to, or the reactor in the case of the grineer version. So we're waiting, he calls out what it is, and then the chaos starts. New Loca. Gotta be one of the most annoying groups of hit squads to be invaded by. They're just... oh, God. Between the venomous guys and the fact that they all buff each other's armor, it's just such an annoyance. You'll see I'm doing a bunch of ultimate spamming to get everybody's health and, back up there. And I'm also keeping up that use of energy vampire, which we'll go into very shortly as to what that's all about. And again, you get that toxic aura that just goes straight to the health pool. Unless you're Rhino, but Trinity is not Rhino, so Trinity does not have Iron Skin to stop it. Alright. Now that that is dealt with, finish off that last guy, now we can continue on. It's at this point that we notice that the one friend is missing, and we get slightly confused as to what we want to do. So there's a little bit of killing time here to see if he can join back into the match, which, as it turns out, he can't because it's considered the objective completed, even though we haven't even started the objective. You'll see I'm trying to shortcut around it. It's unable to actually invite anybody. So I decided to just go on because we're almost done with it anyways. I have him get on top of that car. Now this is the important part here. In the corpus one, you're riding this car. The hijack objectives feed off of your shields. So as you're near them, it'll drain your shields. However, as it's draining your shields, it's moving. The staying with it part is much easier on the corpus version here, because the corpus version you just ride the car the entire way. Whereas in the grineer, you have to walk along underneath it as, you know, the grineer coming in and attacking and all that stuff. Now, I elaborated before that I was going to get into why I was doing the energy vampire so much. With Trinity, and there's a couple other frames that'll work good with this, but in the case of Trinity, her ultimate actually restores shields as well as health. So my goal is that I use, say, energy vampire on somebody. You kill that person, it gives everybody energy, and then I just keep using the ultimate in order to keep the shields up. Because without the shields, you're not going anywhere, and you want to go somewhere, so it's something to keep in mind. Granted, you don't have to do it. You could also probably use the team shield restorers and things like that. But it does help things along. Alternatively, the mods for your sentinels that let them restore shields, or even a Kubro that restores shields, all would probably come in handy for keeping things moving in this part. This is, of course, this hijack is level 22 to 25 or something like that, so it is a little bit higher level than a lot of the stuff that I normally do, just out of that's where it is, so I kind of have to. So you do end up running into some nullifiers and stuff like that, which aren't necessarily a huge problem. In the upper left here, we can see that the vehicle is constantly taking damage as it moves, which is part of the reason why you want to keep those shields up and keep it moving so that it doesn't end up getting destroyed. Because on top of its continual health degeneration, bad guys can also shoot at it. And this seems to be more common in the grineer one, that it takes massive damage when all of a sudden a bunch of rocket launcher bombards come in. But it can happen in this one as well. Every now and then you'll see a shot bank off of the car, or the corpus truck. Alright, there is the end. So we've got this in the bag. There's not a whole lot that can be done to cause us to lose it. So it's just mopping up whatever dudes are around just so that we can, you know, for the sake of killing them. You get to the end, your ship comes and picks it up, and you're done. And that's really all a hijack is. The main points there, the main complications are that if you don't realize you have to stay near the thing because it feeds off of your shield, then you might not find yourself doing the mission very well because it's just not going anywhere. It's just standing there and getting the crap shot out of it, and you don't know what you're doing. It happens. That's why I'm doing these tutorials, is to explain that part. So, being that, what are the reasons to do that stage? Honestly, I mean, outside of just getting the planet done, I don't know very many reasons. Warframe-wise, though, anything that kind of has that shield restore, like Trinity, her ultimate does the shield restore. It restores health too, but more importantly, the shield is nice. You also have something like a Zephyr, which might work nicely for redirecting bullets if you build her in a specific way. A Volt, you could try the shields, you know, might not do much though. Rhino Prime is great because he doesn't use his own shields and he has a high amount of shields. So with Iron Skin on, you don't have to worry about it. You could also go the more shieldy route again by using like Mag, who does have a shield restoring move herself. Although she doesn't come coupled with the energy restoring move that Trinity has. You could try something like a spammable build of Frost Snow Globe to keep things safe, although it's going to be more complicated because things are constantly on the move, and it is, you know, a somewhat costly move. You could also try something like Excalibur and just blind everybody, because if they're blinded, then they're not attacking, and if they're not attacking, then they're not hitting the thing, so it's one less thing to worry about. You could try something like a Chroma, who's, you know, innate aura on the blue mode, if I remember correctly, actually increases your maximum shields while it's on, which would be helpful because the shield's drained to do that. Outside of that, you could also go the more offensive route where you're more worried about just killing the dudes and not as much worried about the shields, in which case any kind of offensive type frame would probably work. You could use something like a Nova with a molecular prime to slow dudes down and explode everybody. You could use a Nyx to confuse everybody. You could use an Oberon to do his smiting moves and all that. You could do the mission with any type. It's just for the sake of ease, you want something that can bring back your shields so that you can keep the thing powered the entire time. That's really pretty much all there is to this mission. I mean, it's really straightforward when it comes to that. Reward-wise, it's nothing spectacular. There's a mission or two, I believe, where you have to do that and along the quests. It's a lot easier with a group because you can just party out on top of the wagon or underneath the reactor. Although one involves you sitting on it, the other one involves you running across it, it is very much the same mode, so you can use this as kind of a guide for the grineer ones as well. Well, any questions or comments, post them in the things below, and until next time, I hope you guys have enjoyed the tutorials.